Hello champions, welcome to your instructional video for the week. Good effort making it here. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. 1, 2, 3, because you deserve all 3 for making it here. This video is designed to help us move forward in our learning and to sharpen our math skills. Of course, to build confidence as well in our math skills. But that can only happen with your positive mindset. So I ask that you enjoy this video and that you soak up all the information. Before we get started, I would like to reiterate that our weekly newsletter comes out every Monday. That weekly newsletter does have all of the content that is necessary to be successful in our class. That newsletter also has the links to our hangouts that happen on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Please read it thoroughly because there are specific links for specific days and specific class times for specific grades. So, please enjoy this video, show your work, and stay enthused. Enjoy. Welcome back, third grade champions. Today, we will be continuing our series on efficient strategies with discussing using parentheses. So, parentheses are very important to us, really to all mathematicians, because they help us organize complicated math problems, okay? So, what does it mean if we want to uncomplicate things? We want to make them efficient. As we are reading this story problem together, I want you to be thinking about how we can write an efficient equation using parentheses to help us solve this story problem. Let's read it together. Richard has 2 cartons with 6 eggs in each. As he opens the cartons, he drops 2 eggs. How many unbroken eggs does Richard have left? Have you thought about an equation to help our friend Richard? Let's go ahead and write that equation down. 30 seconds. Wow, I know some of us have some really great answers, but let's just go through the story problem together so that we can guarantee we don't miss anything. So, our first piece of information needs to be what we're looking for, which is how many unbroken eggs does Richard have left, okay? So if we're looking for what Mr. Richard has left, then that must mean that we are finding the total of what Mr. Richard started with. Now, the total is in the story problem. They told us what the total was by telling us that Richard has 2 cartons with 6 eggs in each. 2 cartons, 6 eggs in each. That is where we're going to start. Let's go ahead and write that down. 2 cartons, 6 eggs in each. So, anything with an in each is going to tell us that we're either multiplying or dividing. So because we are looking for what's left, we're looking for a total. And when we have a total, or when we're looking for a total, we are going to be multiplying, okay? So 2 times 6 should give us 12, and this will be our total. But are we done? Nope. So with this information, let's go ahead and build an equation to help Richard figure out how many eggs he has left. To find out how many eggs Richard has left, we have to acknowledge that he started off with more than what he ended up with, because they said, how many does he have left? The story problem gave us some information about what happened to those eggs. He dropped 2 of them. He dropped 2 of the eggs. So if he dropped 2, then that must mean we are subtracting. Okay? So this equation here is the equation that we need to get the total for the unbroken eggs from Mr. Richard. So we have both parts of the equation that we need. We have the total in parentheses because we found the total first. And so we solve what's in the parentheses first, and then we do what's outside of the parentheses. So, like we said, 2 times 6 is 12. And then we do 12 minus 2 to find the unbroken eggs. And I know we're so smart, so we know 12 minus 2 is 10 eggs. That's how much that Richard has left. Very, very good. Let's move on to the next part. We have a fill in the blank statement here. It says, parentheses tell mathematicians which part of the equations to solve blank. What do you think is supposed to go in that blank? Go ahead and say it out loud. 3, 2, 1. First. You are so smart. Parentheses tell mathematicians which part of the equation to solve first. You guys are so smart. So let's go ahead and try one more. Make the equation true. 4 plus 2 times 6 equals 36. Where do we need to put those parentheses to make this equation true? Go ahead and work on this. 30 seconds. This one may have been a little tricky, so let's work through it together just so we're all on the same page. If we would like to make the equation true, that means the things that are happening on this side need to equal the things that are happening on this side. On this side, we have 36. On this side, we have 4 plus 2 times 6, okay? Now, where we put our parentheses is very important here, all right? So, I bet a few of my friends said that we can put the parentheses in between the 2 and the 6 because we want to multiply first. What do you think? Is this going to be correct? Check this answer and find out. We have placed our parentheses around the 2 and the 6. So that tells us that we are going to multiply first because that is what is inside of the parentheses. So we multiply first. 2 times 6, we get 12. And then we still have to add that 4. Same thing up here. We're doing the same thing down here. Have to add the 4. It's going to be 16. Now, does 16 equal 36? No, it does not. 16 does not equal 36. So let's try again. Where do we need to put our parentheses to make this equation true? One of my friends said that we should put the 4 and the 2 inside of the parentheses. Let's solve and see if they're correct. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Very good. And the 6 is in the parentheses. We are still multiplying by 6 because that is what the equation told us to do. Now, 6 times 6 equals 36. Is that the truth? I think that we're correct there. 6 times 6, that's a square number. We know that equals 36. So, where we put our parentheses, does it matter? Yes, It's very important because, as you can see, we can get to totally different answers if we decide to put our parentheses in different places. So we have to be very careful on where we put our parentheses. Let's go ahead and move over to our next problems. Our next equation has 12 minus 4 inside of the parentheses plus 6 equals blank. Let's go ahead and find that blank. You guys have 20 seconds. If you got 14 for your first answer, you are correct. 12 minus 4 is inside of the parentheses, so we solved that one first. 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. If you did not get that, just check your work there and make sure that we are doing what is in the parentheses first. Let's move on to the next problem. This next equation says blank equals, in parentheses, 12 divided by 2, in parentheses, plus 4. You have 20 seconds to figure out what belongs in that blank. 20 seconds. Go. So, champions, if you wrote 10 in your blank, you were absolutely correct. So, the parentheses tell us what to do first. Inside of our parentheses, we have 12 divided by 2. We know that 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Our equation then tells us to add 4 to what is inside of those parentheses. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Our final product would give us 10. Excellent work. Give yourself a pat on the back there. Good job. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of our video. Excellent work, third grade. So, for your assignment, we are trying these 11 problems all on our own. We will be discussing the answers to these equations on Tuesday and Wednesday at noon, 12 o'clock for third grade, okay? So Tuesdays, Touch Base Tuesday at noon for third grade. Wednesday, Wise Champion Wednesdays. We have a Google Hangout at noon as well. So I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to hearing all of your ideas about this work, all the questions that you had, all the breakthroughs and great advice that you could share with your peers there. Please try your best and show your work, guys. Show your work. You know what that means, and I expect for you to do that every single time. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I look forward to receiving your work, even if you cannot make the hangout. And remember, the link to those are on all of our newsletters every single time, and they're now on our distance learning website, so you can check them out there as well. All right. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.